Boy, Tennessee could have just gotten one more stop in a game that made Kevin O'Neal proud. Tennessee loses on the road at Auburn 52-50. Boy, they got two big games coming up this week. This is the Food City Locker Room presented by Garza Law. This is the Players Show. Well, so we got to talk through a number of things. What a week for Tennessee coming up. You've got Kentucky, you've got Florida, two games at home, and just a log-jammed SEC. Mark Packer along with T. Jones Live, Tony Jones, and Jason Swain on the other end. Jason, what a tough loss on Saturday, but boy, they were that close.
Very tough loss. But you look at how this team came in. You had players with the flu-type symptoms. Auburn's a very, very tough place to play. And Tennessee held the number one offense to their season low and had an opportunity to win. Auburn couldn't make shots. Tennessee couldn't make shots. You were one possession away. There were some mistakes that were made in the game. I'm sure Rick Barnes and company will highlight and show the guys on film. But it was a game you could have won, but you didn't. But I don't think Tennessee should be dinged too much for losing by a point on the road at Auburn.
Stats right there, Tony, just a little ugly if you like offensive basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a dog fight. I mean, they were playing football out there, Jason. I mean, it was a tough, grinded out basketball game. I'm proud of Tennessee's effort. They could have won the basketball game. Down one, Milicic, I don't know what he has to rock there. I probably may have called a timeout and got something, set where we could have maybe won the basketball game.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I mean, I think as a coach, you want to empower your players.
Yes.
They have opportunity to go score, but at that moment, I was like, it didn't really do much all game long. Maybe that's a situation we put the ball in Z's hands and let him create. But, I mean, you didn't make enough shots, period, point blank. Auburn's best player came out with an ankle sprain and played better than our best player who has been healthy. And I don't think Tennessee did the best job of really putting him in position, getting him moving in space. We allowed him to kind of move in short space with that injury. I wanted to see us really challenge him and challenge that ankle.
Just to see what he could do on the defensive end. Correct. I agree with you, Jason. Auburn, 19 second chance points. That's problematic. We only got, I believe, 16 second chance points, and that's big. I like to see us push the ball up the floor a little bit more, but Auburn's defense was stifling. Tennessee's defense was stifling, and it came down to the last possession. And any team could have won, and unfortunately enough for us, we didn't come out with the victory.
It was a game that set offensive basketball back about 83 years, and it did remind me of when Kevin O'Neal was the head coach here. And then they brought Jerry Green in, and there was no defense played at all. But the point of this game is Zakai and I texted back and forth a little bit today. He's not going to be here on the show tonight, and I'm not surprised because the turnaround is so quick with Kentucky on Tuesday. You got the travel back from Auburn. You get back, you let the guys rest. Zakai said that film study started today about 4 o'clock. He said a lot of times whenever you've got that quick turnaround on an SEC game, film study could last 4 hours, so he didn't know that they were going to be able to make it. Tell us how you handle in a coaching staff situation. After that kind of travel, what are you trying to do on a Sunday and a Monday?
Well, Auburn is on Central Time, so the game the game was a late game. It was an 8:30 game, Eastern Time.
Okay.
The game is over with. Everybody shower and get out there. You get to the plane. Luckily, they go on charters. Probably don't get back to Knoxville till probably after midnight, 1 o'clock. We got to let our players sleep in, get some rest, get some breakfast. We got a game on Tuesday. We have to bring them in probably in the afternoon time, go over the scout, get them prepared for the scout, watch some film. We probably don't even watch the Auburn game. We just watch all Kentucky, and then we maybe shoot some free throws, and then in earnest on tomorrow prepare for the game on Tuesday.
How much are you looking back? How much are you looking back on offensively, what you can do to improve? And Jason, sorry, I'm gonna camp out with Tony for just a little bit.
Please.
From a coaching standpoint, you don't have time to really look back too much, do you?
No, not really. And what I'm really been disappointed in the last couple games is our bench play. We scored 10 points off the bench last night. Gainey had 8, and D. Stone and K. Phillips had 1 point. The game against Mississippi State, we scored 14 points off the bench. Gainey scores 10. D. Stone and K. Phillips gets 2 points. So that's an area that we're going to have to get some more productivity from.
Yeah, I thought D. Stone was going to have a big game against Auburn. We saw, we talked about this when he was on with us a couple weeks ago, his performance against Duke when he was at Hofstra. I was expecting some of that, not all of it, but some of it.
Yeah.
And he just looked really uncomfortable. Looked like he was in a hurry. Just didn't have his footing. Hands were slippery. It just wasn't his night. And Rick just never put him back in the game.
Right.
Well, how do you fix it, though? I mean, obviously you're down guys. You've had a transfer. We've talked about all this. You've had some injuries. I mean, there's no fixing it now. It is what it is.
You know, what we got to do is score and transition a little bit more. You know, score easy baskets.
To get the guys off the bench involved? Is that what you're saying?
No, I thought you were talking about
I'm just
fixing
talking about
it offensively.
Well, no, I'm talking about you said that you don't have any bench play.
Okay,
My
I got
thing
you.
is, if you don't have the numbers, how you going to fix it? Because you only got the 3 same dudes that you're going back to.
Right.
You got to play better.
That's it. You got to play better. And Bishop Boswell is not getting any type of substantive minutes to contribute. But I'm kind of disappointed. I agree with you with D. Stone. But K. Phillips, during the early part of the year, he was playing really, really well. And his productivity is kind of decreased. It's kind of...
He's playing hurt.
Well, I know the shoulder. I know the shoulder is hurting him, but I mean, you know, as coaches,
you in there, right?
You don't care.
No. If you're injured, you can't play. If you're hurt and you're out there, I expect you to contribute.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Yes.
If you're out there, you know, you gotta produce, right? Yeah. But I look at Darlin Stone, and no, he was a joy when he was here, right? We had a good time with him.
Yes.
Great guy.
He's a senior, right? He's played a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
So Cade has probably more of an excuse. This is his second year playing.
Right.
But guys like Chazanier, guys like Zakai, Gainey, guys that have played 4 years or going into their 5th year, you know you have to show up in these big moments.
Yeah.
And when you do, you put your team at a disadvantage.
So D. Stone, when he was in here, is the one that said, what are you doing February 1st? And I said, I don't know. It's on my schedule. He said, be there when we play Florida. I got to figure out how to get some tickets. Anybody know how I can sit down courtside with people like T. Jones Live?
Mark Packer.
You got any connections? Let's go to commercial break and talk about it,
Let's
okay?
talk about it.
We'll talk, really? We'll talk about the next week when we come back in the Food City Locker Room presented by Garza Law.
Attention shoppers, don't forget to ask our certified butchers for great recipe tips.
This is an authentic butcher shop,
where meat is hand-cut in-store, beef is ground fresh daily, and expert advice from a certified butcher
is always free of charge.
Free advice? That's what I call value. The quality I crave, the value I count on.
Nobody does food like Food City.
At Glass Doctor, our trained specialists are experts at fixing foggy and cracked glass.
Looks great.
You're all set. What we can't fix is your view.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
I was coming home and a lady hit me head on. It totaled my car. It fractured my right heel and it bruised me up really badly. The Garza Law firm, they were very compassionate, but yet they were very detailed. They didn't let me down. They never stopped fighting. It helped me regain confidence in law firms. I would definitely recommend the Garza Law firm.
The Garza Law firm. Let us help.
I was the star around here until Glass Doctor installed this perfect shower enclosure. Now they look at me like, well, there you go.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Food City, NPG Brain and Concussion, Knoxville Smiles, Glass Doctor, and Garza Law.
Guys, this SEC race is absolutely crazy this year. You look right now, Auburn's kind of separated themselves just a little bit with that win. But then you look, Kentucky goes to Vanderbilt and loses. Florida is playing really well right now. Tennessee's right in the mix. I mean, it's anybody's ball game and for second on as of today.
Auburn 6-0, Alabama 6-1, Missouri and Florida are 5-2. So
Yeah.
that's the top division right there. Auburn's got some tough road games to play. It's going to be tough to beat Auburn in the jungle. I don't think they're going to lose any home games. Somebody's going to have to knock them off on the road. Tennessee, it's of paramount importance that they have to win these two games coming up, and they have to win all their home games, and probably not lose another road game.
I mean, I want to win. I want to win all the games. Don't get me wrong, but like the SEC chase is just not for me right now, because I want this team to be at its best when it comes time for the tournament.
Okay.
As a program, we've seen this team win the SEC outright in the regular season. We've seen this team win the conference tournament.
And then it didn't matter.
And it didn't matter in the tournament because you got maybe a bad draw, or you came up against a team that was a bad matchup for you and you were sent home packing. For me, in this program where Rick Barnes is, we're past winning the SEC, even though that's the first goal.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. But I'm more so concerned with this team making a run and go as far as they can to the Final Four.
To that point, when you guys were at Tennessee making your run and all, where do you kind of categorize SEC regular season, SEC tournament, NCAA tournament?
Well, it depends on where you're at. Like Tennessee's 4-3 right now. They're probably not going to win the SEC regular season title.
Right.
But we want to start playing well as we start getting to the latter part of February into March, playing well. And with this particular team, to start developing some of that bench. You know, D. Stone, K. Phillips. You know, Gainey is not a guy that comes off the bench. He's a sixth starter, and he's been consistent in his play. But D. Stone, K. Phillips needs to be a consistent contributor on the offensive end.
So for this week with Kentucky at home on Tuesday and then Florida, we said a week ago, if you could take 2-2 over the next 4 games, would you take it? I think we all agreed that you would. At this point in time, I think I'm going to get a little greedy because I saw how well Tennessee played against the number 1 team in the country. And I'm going to be disappointed if they don't win both this week.
It's going to be tough. I mean, Kentucky has lost their last 2 games. They're coming in wounded, and they're coming in hungry. It's rumblings in Lexington already about these 2 losses and being 3-4, 3-3 in the conference. So they're coming in with a reckless abandon, and we got to do a good job on OE and Butler. Those are 2 really good players. And then Florida. Obviously, we know we were taken to the woodshed down in at the Swamp. It's going to be tough. You remember those type of beatings.
Do we have to watch these highlights? Oh, man.
You remember those type of defeats, Jason. And in some instances, if it doesn't go right early, then you be like, here we go again. Is this team better than us?
I mean, as long as Tennessee doesn't come out and play like they did last year against South Carolina, where there was no sense of urgency,
right.
you didn't have that energy in the building. It was an early game, and South Carolina was able to get the win. I highly doubt, with the sense of urgency that we have right now, or should have, that Florida will be able to come in and just beat us the way they did. And in Kentucky, they're struggling with defense. They play some poor defense, but they can shoot the lights out. Mm-hmm. They beat Florida at home when Florida out-rebounded them, did a lot of things better than them. Kentucky was able to shoot the 3 ball very, very well. That's what Tennessee needs to make sure they cover.
So I'm sitting here thinking about what you're talking about, Kentucky coming in here hungry, as you say.
Hungry.
Is that you've got both Tennessee and Kentucky, I would think, with the preseason expectations, the lofty expectations, the high rankings. You've got 2 teams coming into this game, Jason, that are both hungry.
Absolutely. Everybody's hungry. You hungry?
Is it hungry or desperate? Because
both.
at this, you know what I mean? At this point in time, it's not a must-win. That's the stupidest phrase in sports. But at the same time, where you are right now, it's very important.
Well, you look at Mark Pope in Kentucky. Like, it's his first year. it's really important for them to make a push in the SEC. In the regular season and the tournament, we know it's a Kentucky, what they call the Invitational SEC tournament with all those Kentucky fans. So it's really, really important for those Kentucky fans to see Mark Pope make a big push in the SEC race. For me, and this is just me talking, like for Tennessee, I'm more concerned with them being ready to play going into the tournament. But yeah, these two games are very, very important. Florida has won more recently than Tennessee and played better than Tennessee and Kentucky, but Florida hasn't played as well as they have since they beat Tennessee. They've lost to Missouri. They've skated by South Carolina.
They played pretty good Saturday.
They haven't played the same.
They played pretty good Saturday against Georgia. But
they beat the dog out of Georgia.
That was no pun intended, but that was about it. You're right. Until then, all of a sudden, you're kind of like, who are these guys?
Yeah.
So got to take a break right now. I do want to come back and get in on football a little bit with Jason.
Ooh.
There were a couple of big signings, commitments, free agent acquisitions, however we want to call it. We'll talk about that next when we come back on The Locker Room.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Food City, Exterior Home Solutions, D1 Training, Lakewood Capital Group, Ted Russell Ford, and Garza Law.
Attention shoppers, don't forget to ask our certified butchers for great recipe tips.
This is an authentic butcher shop.
Where meat is hand-cut in-store, beef is ground fresh daily, and expert advice from a certified butcher
Is always free of charge.
Free advice? That's what I call value. The quality I crave, the value I count on.
Nobody does food like Food City.
I see Marco's role in the community as somebody that people can look up to.
Marcos Garza is very thoughtful. He pays attention to the needs of the people in the community.
He's somebody that's very unselfish, somebody that's going to always be there.
Marcos Garza will work as hard as he can to get the best results for you.
In the future, no matter where I'm playing, no matter what the team I'm playing for, I'll always be on Garza's team.
The Garza Law Firm is Mama Zizi approved.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Man, come on, we got a roof to replace.
Let's go, baby.
Let's
go. Hey, Sterl, you ready to go to the top? Man, I can't believe you guys been doing this for 25 years. Oh, baby.
Now this is what I call a rooftop party.
We have 25 years experience in roofing and exterior renovations, and we're backed by the best.
Are you ready to get your rooftop party started? Give us a call, 865-524-5888.
Knoxville Smiles depend on us to make you smile better. Knoxville Smiles, are you happy with your smile today? Knoxville Smiles, we're all about smiles.
Hey Lance, what makes you smile?
Pancake blocks.
When a family needs a fence, it's more than a piece of wood or metal. It's a place where your pets are kept safe. It's a place where memories are made. It's what helps make your house a home. At Knox Fence, we have decades of experience in residential and commercial fencing. Whether you're looking for safety, security, or privacy, we would love to help your family make your house a home. Call Knox Fence today at 865-414-8713 or visit us online at knoxfence.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jody Griffin. I'm a dentist here in Knoxville, Tennessee. In 22, I had a wakeboard tower hit me on the head and give me a concussion. In my office, I show x-rays to my patients so they can see their teeth. I needed somebody to do the same thing for my brain, so I went to MPG. They did an EEG of my brain, and they were able to show me the activity of my brain and give me a diagnosis and a treatment plan. So I choose MPG because brains is what they do, and that's all they do.
Time now for the Food City Player's Perspective. A look inside the locker room with the Vols.
You know what I need to get sponsored is I need to get the free agent report is brought to you by Jason. A little bit of football here. Still looking for those marquee wide receivers. Got a transfer or two, but at the same time, two big, what do we call them, signees on the offensive line.
Two big boys. Yeah, you get that with Sam Pendleton, the latest. He was a player that did a really good job of competing, was a starter for Notre Dame.
7 games,
entering the season. And he's a guy that can play guard for you. He can play center for you, depending on what you have and what's best for the offensive line. But it's another piece to what I think is very important in protecting Nico and surrounding Nico with enough tools for him to be successful.
T. Jones, we'll go back and forth even though it's football and you're the basketball guy, but at the same time, let's talk about this. There are needs within a team, and in basketball, where is that? Because on a football team, you want to build at the line of scrimmage, and that's the foundation. Where is it in basketball?
You got to have an extension of the coach on the floor. It's got to be point guard, Jason, and you played basketball in high school. And then you got to have a guy inside. It don't have to be a center. It doesn't have to be a power forward, but you got to have a tough guy, an intimidator, a guy that's going to get every defensive rebound so you can rebound the basketball and convert to offense. Those are the two things that you need, Mark.
So back to football, okay, with this talking about foundational, as a former wide receiver, we've talked off camera, but you want to see him go get a wide receiver. We've talked about it. How do you go find that?
Yeah, I wanted
Dr. Springball?
Well, I wanted them to, but I understand there's more important needs.
Okay.
Like, Tennessee had a bigger need at running back. I thought Tennessee did a good job of filling that need. I don't know if the running back room is adequate enough to be able to go through the SEC like we did last year.
Yeah.
We'll see. But Tennessee did go out and get a good athlete added to the wide receiver room from Alabama. And then you have some young pieces that should have played more last year that didn't, that you feel really good about. And then the freshman receivers you have coming in. I think we're going to be just young at receiver. There's talent, but I think you still have to go out and look for a DB because Jamal McCoy's ACL injury that happened a couple weeks ago, you don't know if he's going to be ready at the beginning of the season.
Here's what's so different. I was talking with some of the VolQuest.com guys the other day, and we were talking about trying to fill these needs in the transfer portal. And then the phrase was thrown out, well, what about player development? You know, we used to talk about player development before 3 years ago happened.
It's the most important thing.
You get your Mike Matthews in, you get your Boo Carters in on the defensive side, you let him play some offense, but you develop the players that you've got. Have we lost sight of that in college athletics?
So I think a lot of people have, but the most important thing is your evaluation, what you see in a player, what you see that player can be with your coaching, and then player development. Like none of the other stuff matters if you don't have those two things. Some people think it's all about the money. Just pay the most money. Well, if you're paying the most money to the wrong people, you're in trouble. Ohio State did a really good job of evaluating, recruiting, then having the money to go and get guys from the portal. They did everything the right way. So other teams who are struggling and trying to follow that program, they're doing something wrong.
Is the whole mantra changed now, Tony, just in college athletics, that you get to the end of the season, you look at your weakness and you say, go throw money at that position. Go throw money at it.
That's what it looked like to me. To go along with, to piggyback on Jason's point, you know, you talk about player development. You got to talk about retention also. Retention and player development. And then if you got guys like, what's the strength coach over at UT that's got these guys bulked up? I seen ZZ and Gainey enhance their
Garrett.
They've enhanced their athletic ability and gotten stronger. So if a parent sees where they're getting developed in strength and conditioning wise, then the parent may be, maybe we should stay there and then look towards what we're going to do in the future.
And maybe making their grades? Did you see what just happened? He literally laughed as loud as I've ever heard T. Jones. It's an academic institution.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, right.
We'll be right back right after this. What are the keys to victory in the games coming up this weekend and in the classroom, Tony?
Just go to class.
Hi, I'm Laura Ash, your West Knoxville State Farm agent. I've been here in the Renaissance for 17 years, and I'd love to help your young football players or anyone with their car insurance, home insurance, and life insurance. Give me a call at Laura Ash State Farm.
I see Marco's role in the community as somebody that people can look up to.
Marcos Garza is very thoughtful. He pays attention to the needs of the people in the community.
He's somebody that's very unselfish, somebody that's going to always be there.
Marcos Garza will work as hard as he can to get the best results for you.
In the future, no matter where I'm playing, no matter what the team I'm playing for, I'll always be on Garza's team.
The Garza Law Firm is Mama ZZ approved.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
What's up, guys? It's Devin Driscoll, owner of D1 Sports Training. We know in 2024, convenience is king, so we have locations not just in Hardin Valley, but now one in Maryville, in Farragut, and in Morristown, with more soon to come. So keep an eye out. We want to bring D1 Sports Training to everyone in East Tennessee.
Hey, Tim Hoskins here from Covenant Sports Medicine. I'm the corporate manager of sports medicine, and I want to speak a little bit to our community partners and relationships that we have. We partner with FC Alliance Soccer, LeConte Center at Pigeon Forge, Johnson University, numerous high schools in and around the area, AAU basketball, Morristown Landing, travel hockey, volleyball, lacrosse, you name it, we're probably involved. What a lot of people don't know about Covenant Health is we're a nonprofit, community-based healthcare delivery system. We provide services in your community. If you ever need help with some event medicine or sporting event, scan the QR code at the bottom. Covenant Health, our mission is to improve lives through better health.
Community banking is about location and much more. It's about family. We reside in your community. We are a part of your community. At Commercial Bank, our commitment extends beyond the walls of our branches. It's displayed each day in the opportunities we provide, the money we give back, and the time we commit, all to help improve the lives of the people, families, and businesses that make our communities great. Commercial Bank, life made better.
Keys to Victory is brought to you by Garza Law.
I have a funny feeling I know what you guys are going to say about Keys to Victory, Kentucky and Tennessee. Did either one of you say anything about bench play?
I mean, it's important, right, Tony?
That's very important, very important.
You didn't say it. You complained about it this whole show.
I've got bench play as a prerequisite.
There it
for
is,
us
bench
to win.
scoring. It's on there. Okay, just
that's
making sure.
exactly right.
Just making sure.
We got to transition from defense to offense. We got to get up and down the floor, and we got to score easy baskets and stop putting so much pressure on our half-court offense. Second chance points. We're big. I mean, we got athletic wings. I mean, Meshack is athletic. He can go to the offensive glass.
He needs to shoot.
Obviously, Para and Felix can go to the offensive glass also. And then the bench scoring. We've alluded to this during the show. We need D. Stone. We need Cade to start being a little bit more productive on the offensive end, Jason.
Three-point defense, I think, will be very, very important in this game. Tennessee's the best team in the country at three-point defense. They need to be versus Kentucky. Kentucky can shoot the lights out. They got a lot of experienced guys, seniors, juniors, and they can shoot at the very, very skilled. Can't let Kentucky get hot. Bigs, playing big, getting the boards, defending. We need our big guys to be big, play big. And then patience on offense. Kentucky's one of the worst teams in the SEC defensively. So if you're patient, you're going to get the shot you want. Don't take bad shots. Get the shot you want. Move the ball, take care of the ball, and be efficient on offense.
There were a couple of times in the Auburn game where Jemai Meshack had an open look, and he turned it down and he dribbled back out and he passed the ball back out to Zakai. And I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, be aggressive. He's got to develop a confidence in himself because he's a better player offensively than I think he thinks he is.
Jason makes a salient point there as far as being patient. A couple ball reversals, you get teams playing defense, and teams don't want to play defense for 20, 25 seconds. Couple ball reversals, then maybe get a high ball screen, go downhill, penetrate and dump, penetrate and pitch, and then I think we can beat Kentucky.
Out of time. Tennessee plays Kentucky on Tuesday, Florida on Saturday. Hopefully we talk about 2 games, 2 wins next week on the Food City Locker Room presented by Garza Law. We'll see you next week.